That is the quickest way to get me to shut up and stop singing. Is to hit record. Hello, club.
Sorry, Molly had messages. I was like, shit, have I locked her out again?
Yeah. I swear this time I didn't. Welcome to the grungy old classroom. As you can see, this week we are highly prepared for our for a very special episode, which is our first film review that we're doing. Porco Rosso! Studio Ghibli's Porco Rosso. And I've got with me my beautiful, wonderful, not a fascist.
Definitely not.
Definitely not a fascist. Rather be a pig than a fascist. Co-host Christopher with a K. Hiya, Chris.
All right.
All right. And I'm Phoebe. So, because we're doing films, we've obviously got to start with snacks because you can't watch a film without some snacks. So, we're going to try these.
Hey.
Which are like caramel corn. And we don't know if we've got the same flavour or a different flavour. Our current bet is Chris has spicy and I've got cheese, but
Spicy caramel. Cheesy caramel.
Could be weird. Could be weird.
Oh well, it smells like something.
Oh, it smells sweet.
Mine doesn't.
And they look a bit like What's-Its for the British audience.
Yeah. Or a little prawn.
Or a little prawn. They are sweet. Oh. That's like halfway. Is yours sweet as well?
Yeah, yeah.
I like it.
It's different.
It's like it's halfway between like a what's it called? The toffee popcorn. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
what's it?
Like the Butterkist or something.
Yeah, that's the one. Butterkist.
Again, tiny portions. I could
Tiny
demolish
portions.
a share bag of these.
Yeah, easy. Easy. And that's because we are two pigs just living our best lives watching films about pigs.
Yeah.
So, Porco Rosso.
Yes. I'm excited
What
for
did you
this.
think, Chris?
Right. So, Ghibli films. I've seen a few, a lot less than I would like to, but I've never seen this before. So this is my first time watching it. And what I was expecting was My Neighbor Totoro, like a nice little whimsy little story, amazing animation, hand drawn. Yeah, but I was blown away by it. This film is genuinely amazing. I think.
What?
Oh, sorry.
No. Tell me what you think.
I think out of all the Ghibli films I've watched, this is my favourite. I think it tops Spirited Away. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. What makes it your favourite, do you think? It's an unusual favourite because, as you say, there are like films like the Studio Ghibli. That's the studio. Films like Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, Princess Mononoke. All of those get a lot of love and even Totoro get a lot of love as like the best Studio Ghibli film. But I agree with you. I think this is definitely up there, and is massively underrated. I think it's absolutely great fun. But what did you like about it?
So I watched it in English dub because it automatically started on dub, and when I realised that is it Michael Keaton, when he voices Porco, I was like, I don't need to. I already know that they've invested time and effort into the voice actors, so don't need to listen to the dub, and it's got my full attention. I love the look of it. It kind of reminds me of a. Can you remember the original Popeye that was in black and white?
Yeah.
It reminds us of that kind of vibe, but it's got an amazing story behind it, and the more you look into it, the more you get from it. On the surface, I could watch this with Finley, 4-year-old son, and he'd be like, there's a talking pig, it's got planes, it's got like fights, it's got danger and good parts.
It's got people doing silly sky pirates.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But if you look deep into it, there's a lot more going on with Porco Rosso. His romance, in the world at large, you get the whole fascism thing. You get the running from sky pirates and the military. It's just, I was just hooked. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with you. I think it's a film. It has layers, and I enjoyed. So I think it's been a good 20 years maybe since I've seen this film,
Right.
and I think I enjoyed it just as much, but very differently now as a 35-year-old, as
Yeah.
a 35-year-old, than I did as a terrible, like a young 15-year-old or whatever it was. 15, 16, whenever I first watched it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's got a lot of layers. For me, it always it reminds me of those like World War One, Battle of Britain kind of World War One, World War Two films where they're like set on a ship in the middle of the Atlantic, or like fighting for the Channel. It's got that kind of like war drama feel to it.
Yeah.
But I think that it does still have a little bit of whimsy, but it's far less cutesy than a lot of the Studio Ghibli films, I think.
Yeah, it's weird because it has got the World War One or Two theme to it, but that's an entire backstory. Like, if that wasn't included, it doesn't have to be to get the whole vision of the film.
Yeah, and I think it is set in. I think it's set at the end of World War One is when I think the film is set. And you're also right. It does, like, the cast is blinding. It's got a really good cast. We've got Michael Keaton, Carrie Yules, that I was excited about, from Princess Bride and Robin Hood Men in Tights, and lots of other films, but those are like the two films that I love him in.
Yeah.
Playing Curtis, the kind of like terribly arrogantly dashing pilot who Porco Rosso has to fight at the end for the freedom of the woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also got all of this thing about, like all of the men having gone off, so it's left, his plane has to be built by just like a village of women who are just like the people left behind. There is a lot of kind of wartime drama to it. But the fact that he's a pig it somehow like makes it feel less heavy and a bit more fantasy, even though like he wouldn't actually have to be a pig through most of it. It would still be a decent story. He just happens to be a pig.
Yeah.
Almost, even that he's got curse. But you had a good theory about the kind of pig curse. Do you want to actually, before we start that, do you want to give us a little bit of a summary? How would you describe the story of the film? And I've asked you that the reason I'm like giggling to myself is because I saw Chris going in for snacks, and I thought I'm going to ask him to do the summary with his mouth full.
Yeah. I thought I'd get a sneaky one in there, but no.
Yeah.
So the story follows a pig man who's just like a rotund pig guy with a mustache called Porco Rosso. He is a bounty hunter.
Pig.
Yeah. Who protects like civilian cruise ships or tourism ships in the Adriatic Sea against sea pirates. He's got a lass a bit stuff who he's kind of will they won't they thing behind it, who runs a local restaurant where the sea pirates and the bounty hunters all get together, but out of respect for this woman, because they all want to get into her knickers, they don't fight there.
It's more than that. I think she's one of those tough 1930s lounge singers who takes no shit. Gina.
Yeah.
Voiced by the same woman who did Meg in Hercules, which once I heard that, I was like, oh, I can't unhear it. Now she's just Meg from Hercules.
I hear her going back, but I didn't notice while I was watching it for some reason. Basically all these bounty hunters are getting a bit sick of Porco Rosso foiling the plans for stealing goods and children as hostages. So they band together, hire a pilot who's this Donald Curtis. He's American, isn't he?
So he's an American pilot in the film.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's this big arsehole bloke. Tries to sort out Porco, but at the same time, coincidentally, Porco's plane is a bit knackered because he hasn't overhauled it in a long time and he's been a bit busy. So he nicks off to, is it Morocco?
Italy, I think.
Italy. Sorry. Yeah. Nick's off to Italy to get it fixed by his old mechanic. On the way there, stuff happens. He picks up the mechanic's granddaughter, brings her back, and yeah, there's loads happened. I'm missing a lot of it out.
No, it's okay.
Sorry.
No, you were gonna say he ends up.
Oh yeah,
you got this, Chris. I believe in you.
Oh, I'm struggling. I'm just thinking about my caramel corn.
Yeah.
He ends up in a big showdown with Donald Curtis, and wins.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
That's it. So yeah, and it's an exciting film, I would say. It's got some great action, sort of like sky fighting scenes in it, which I'd completely forgotten. And when I watched it, I was like, oh, this is really fun. This is like anime at its best. Like, because you can't, without doing it like some heavy CGI, I think you would really struggle to recreate their fights. And one of the reasons I love anime is because it allows you visuals that you just can't achieve in real life. So I think
like
the
a
best
pig man.
Like a pig man, and amazing sky battles, and it's also got some fantastic lines as well.
Yes,
I do think the dub is worth a watch. For even if you're like a total subtitle purist, the Studio Ghibli dubs are worth a watch because they put a lot of effort into the localization of like jokes and things. So there'll be jokes in the English ones that never make it into the Japanese ones, and ones that just don't translate from Japanese to English that they sort of switch out. They also do invest in some seriously good voice talent. So like in Howl's Moving Castle, Howl's played by Christian Bale. You've got Patrick Stewart is in Laputa, Castle in the Sky. And then in this you've got Michael Keaton just doing an absolutely brilliant job as Porco Rosso. So good. And delivering some great lines, including, and like at one point, like he's a good character actually, because he's like there's this will they won't they kind of thing with Gina, and it's like you never quite know if he's going to come good on like the promises that he's made her ages ago, and she's like been waiting for him all this time. And he doesn't realize until about halfway through the film where someone says, oh, she turned me down because she's been waiting for you the whole time, and you're like, oh the romance.
Why do you think that he didn't meet her in the garden? Because there was the promise where she was just like, I'll wait for you and I'll be with you if you meet us in my beautiful terraced garden and just have a cup of tea with us.
I wonder if there's part of Porco. So I think it's interesting that the pig curse thing is interesting. They never really talk about it. He can't stand. At one point, he's like having dinner in her like in the place, but she's like gone to a back room to have dinner, and there's a photo of him there. And in that photo, there are also some children, which you never see in the film. So one theory that I have like made up in my head is like, what happened to the kids? Is that like, is there some sort of guilt or something attached to that meant he never felt worthy of being loved or something? But then also the other thing is like what caused the curse in the first place? Could that be the reason why he never went to meet her? Because he can't stand to look at his human face. He's destroyed all the other pictures, and you know that's the one that he hasn't destroyed that Gina has kind of like held on to for all these years.
Right.
So I think maybe there's something also about like being tied up in his pig curse, why he didn't go. And it's not until he kind of, because you do know that he has like he's flown with the military and stuff before, because that's the whole thing, is that the Italians are chasing him. The Italian Air Force are chasing him because they're like, if you don't fly with us, you can't fly with anyone. Everyone has a toxic ex. Do you know what I mean? So there's also something about like what caused him to leave the military, and it does have I think, which is both our favourite lines, which is, I'd rather be a pig than a fascist.
Yeah,
So
I love that.
either it's like a conscience, a crisis of conscience that's kind of done it, or something else has happened that he's kind of broken away from the military. Um, yeah, so it is a great film, and everything we've just said probably doesn't make it sound like a kids' film, but I think you're right that it's like it's one of those great family films, a bit like a Shrek, I think, where parents can watch
It's
it and get all of the rude jokes, and it just
yeah,
goes over the kids' heads because they're enjoying the fun story actiony bit.
yeah,
And I think Porco Rosso, you'd get that same energy if you were watching it with your kids. Like a lot of the really heavy stuff probably would go straight over their head.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, what's your theory about the whole pig curse and him not going to Gina's garden in the first place?
Right. So, for not going to Gina's garden, I think it's kind of related to the curse, but not.
Hmm.
Because I think whenever he says, because obviously he fought with the Italian Air Force,
Hmm.
he had a lot of friends that he lost, like in that scene, which is just there. He fought till he blacked out,
Yeah.
and then he realised he was the only one left on his side, and he saw all these friends float up, obviously passing on to wherever, and his friend that went up was married to Gina.
Yes.
So I think that he did promise, like when he was saying, you take me instead because you've got Gina at home. So I think he's got an obligation to look after her, but I don't think he thinks he's good enough to meet her and actually have a relationship with her.
And maybe there's a kind of sense of like, well, like I'll look after you for my friend, but I can't possibly fall in love with you. Oh no, I've fallen in love with you.
Yeah,
There's that kind of, yeah.
it's like another one of the lines when he's talking to, I can't remember what the Theo Piccolo is, the girl mechanic's
Yeah.
granddaughter that he picks up,
Who
and
builds the plane for him?
she idolizes these pilots because her granddad, who's obviously an airplane mechanic, has been like telling us stories of like heroics during the war and stuff like that. So she's kind of inherited that like rose tinted view of them, where she thinks like God's gift to wherever these
They're
honorable
like heroes
pilots.
in stories.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she sees Porco Rosso as one, and she says, "Oh well, I think you're a good man." And he was like, "Oh no, all the good men died, and were
Yeah,
left
yeah.
behind," kind of thing. So I think there's that very much survivor's guilt, where he was the only one that survived. He survived the entire war, and he does a couple of self-deprecating sentences, like where he says all men are pigs,
Yeah.
in phrases like that. So I think it's a curse of his own doing, a mixture
Yeah.
of survivor's guilt, him not thinking he's good enough, and because he's got all these accolades as well. Like everyone loves him. He's like the best pilot in the Adriatic. He's foiled loads of pirates, and he never kills them. He shoots the planes, but he always damages the engines. I think because he's had enough of killing, but that
Yeah.
takes more skill than actually just shooting them in the face or whatever.
Yeah. It takes more skill and more risk, because that's
Yeah.
the thing in the final battle is that he could win that battle very easily if he just shoots the pilot.
Mm-hmm.
But he just refuses to. He's like that's not how like that's not how we're gonna win this kind of fight. He's
That's not how
takes
poker
the,
rolls.
that's not how Porco Rosso rolls. This is the red pig. Yeah, yeah. He's such a G.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good. It's a great film. I'm so glad you enjoyed it as well because it's I think it's like Studio Ghibli has this weird place I think in anime fandom where some people are like almost fanatic for Studio Ghibli films, myself included. Like I haven't seen a Studio Ghibli film that I didn't enjoy at least a little bit. Some
Yeah.
more than others. But some people are really turned off by it because it's like whimsical and family orientated, and some people just that's not why they're coming to anime. They want something a bit grittier and stuff. And I think Porco Rosso is just such good storytelling. So chef's
Yeah.
kisses.
Yeah. But
Because of all those layers, because of the characters that you kind of fall in love with a bit. Yeah, and the animation's great. We love some hand drawn animation. It's hard not to.
Yeah, it's beautiful. But how what do you think of the curse? Because I wanted to hear what you thought it was.
Yeah, so I think the curse. Do you know? I've kind of never really thought about it. I just kind of accepted that he was cursed. I really like your theory. It's not one that I'd had before. I suppose I thought it was like as a consequence of something that he'd done in battle. He'd been cursed, or like
He
that
shot a
maybe.
witch.
I thought maybe he'd shagged a witch or something, because they refer to him as a heartbreaker a lot.
Yeah.
So I was like, in my head, I was like, probably shagged a witch, didn't call her back. That's what you get for being a pig.
It was one of the 3 old women back in Italy. Do you know the fix he's playing?
Yeah. They wanted to feed him up. I'm just saying. Maybe they were trying to like get to his heart through his stomach.
So he couldn't run away.
So he couldn't run away. He doesn't do a lot of running in this, to be fair. He does a lot of flying.
That's why he's so relatable.
That's why he's very relatable. And I do think there is like a kind of, yeah. So no, I hadn't really kind of like puzzled it through, but I think your survivor's guilt thing feels like it really hits the nail on the head, because the other thing is like, so Theo, so with her granddad, she rebuilds his plane after he gets shot down.
Mm-hmm.
As you said, and then she follows along because he owes her money, basically.
Yeah.
He can't pay for the plane, so she's like, well, I'll stick with you, and we'll be partners until you pay me back.
Yeah.
Great business. And she like, so at some point she sort of says, or maybe it's like the princess and the frog, like, if I kiss you, will you turn back into a human?
Yeah.
And she does try, like, she does kiss him on the cheek. They never get. He's never that sexual with her, actually, which I kind of appreciate. He's more like kind of big brotherly towards her, which I like. And she's obviously just like, I think he recognizes that she's a bit starstruck, and therefore it's like, and also secretly he's probably also in love with Gina. We know that he's in love with Gina. And there is a bit where they're kind of like camping out, and it's not, she sees his human face, and it's when he's kind of lost in thought.
Yes.
And so there's like a moment. So I think this idea of the curse being something that's self-inflicted, and something that's about how he sees himself. When he loses himself for that moment while he's lost in thought, he becomes human, and she just gets just a glimpse of that, and then she kind of says something, and it breaks, and he's back to being a pig again.
Yeah.
And just like at the end, there's another moment right at the end of the battle where you can see, like, where Gina's saying, come to the garden again, basically. Come up to my garden.
Cook me, Lady Garden.
Mr. Pig, why don't you come up my garden? And then you kind of like, as he's watching everyone fly away, he's having like a moment of kind of like reflection, and you don't see his face while it happens. So for like the last shots of the film, you don't actually see his face. You only see him either from a distance, or from like the neck down.
Yeah.
But the Curtis, who's kind of in the water next to him, next to their seaplanes, suddenly goes, "Wait, let me see your face." And so obviously there's something has changed there. And I think you're right. I think there is that moment of like him coming to peace with himself over things that have happened, and maybe a kind of like feeling like the right thing, like he's done the right thing by Theo, and he's done the right thing by Gina, and that maybe he can kind of let go of his past a bit and finally move on, which is nice. And I do think, but also I think the ending is a little bit deliberately ambiguous. So there's something in there where it's like Miyazaki's inviting the audience to make up their ideal ending. What do you think? What would you want the ending to be if you're deciding? And while you do that, I'm going to move on to our second little. We talked last week about how sometimes these sweets look like little pills, and this is another one where it's like
it's a ring top pull.
A ring top pull.
It
feels
it's
a bit
like
childproof.
It's like them. Do you know the old film canisters you used to get for like display?
Yeah,
One of them.
it is. Yeah. Like in the what they called, was it Canon in the gold, the little gold
Yes.
pot. Hmm. Oh, very grapey. It's very grapey. It tastes like grape.
Yeah, the little pellets of grape.
They're little pellets of grape flavour. Oh, they're very hard. That's interesting.
Oh, do you know what it is? Sometimes I'm disappointed with these because it does say the grape flavour, but I don't think it's strong enough. I think it's because I've probably got no taste buds left. But
Well, that's something you said in the first episode we started doing snacks.
Mm-hmm.
That it was you wanted to be blasted in the face with flavour, I think.
Yeah, I want like the 5 gum kind of.
Yeah. Like an airwaves experience where someone turns a fan on you.
Flutter off me 3 hairs.
Yeah. Just flapping in the wind. Yeah. So what's your
ending?
Ending. What's your ideal ending? Actually, do you mind if we pause for a minute? Because Eddie is barking at me.
Of course.
Thanks, mate. I just need to put some food in the bowl.
Enjoy your poo, Phoebe?
I didn't do a poo. For people at home, I have a dog and it's enormous. It's like a huge mastiff creature who yaps in a very high pitched way, like a chihuahua, whenever it needs water, and it wanted some water. So,
well, but yeah, ending. I'm really happy with the ending that I gave her. The ambiguous, like, as he turned into a normal human again. Is he still a pig? Well, don't know. Is the Italian army still after him? I don't know. Probably.
Maybe. Yeah. I'm the same. I kind of like don't care if he turns back into a human or not. I'm just the thing that I like is that they show his plane outside Gina's garden, and you think that's good.
He's done a booty call.
He's done. He finally made it to the booty call.
I hope for her sake he's back to being a human. Because they've got curly wing wangs, haven't they?
Not that kind of podcast.
Oh, sorry.
Chris, we have one rule.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. Yeah, I agree. I quite like an ambiguous story end because it also feels like the story hasn't ended. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a kind of world that's going on. It makes, I think, when you start a story in the middle of something and you finish it without really resolving it, it makes you feel like the world that the story's been told in is bigger than the bit that you've seen.
Yeah. I thought it was
I kind of find that gorgeous. Yeah, no, you thought it was.
I thought it was a happy ending without a resolution.
Yeah.
Because like.
Yeah, because what if he moves in with Gina and she realizes that she just hates his guts?
Yeah.
And then after 5 years, they just can't stand the way each other breathe.
To be fair, he lives in a hideout in a little sandy beach in a hidden cave. He must stink. He's gonna wash in seawater every day.
Yeah. Where's he washing his clothes?
In the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Covered in crabs and all sorts.
Gross.
Yeah.
There's cream for that. It's all right. You can clear up.
I wouldn't know personally.
No, neither would I.
I googled it just now. Honest.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the ambiguous ending. Feels good. But also, can I just say, when he's sitting on that beach, like we joke about, like he stinks and stuff. He seems to be living the life. He's sitting there. He's got a cocktail. He's got a plane that can fly him anywhere. Beautiful thing. He's like listening to the radio.
Yeah.
Pig's got a life.
Yeah. And the only bad thing about it is, right, I'm sure the end of Age of Pirates and bounty hunting comes to an end in this film, because I'm sure he says the days of the outlandish Adriatic are over or something like that. I can't remember the quote, but he knows this will be, you cannot make a living from hunting pirates anymore or being a bounty hunter anymore. So it's like a change. Yeah. So you would have had to leave and do something anyway. So that life is gone now, regardless as if he goes with Madame Gina. But yeah,
or not. So here's my other question.
Right.
It's very serious. You've got a self-inflicted curse. What animal does it turn you into?
A monkey.
A monkey. Yeah. I can see that.
Because, right, I really like climbing.
Do you?
Yeah.
I didn't know
and
that.
It's just like...
That makes sense, though, because it must be nice to be able to see over stuff.
Hey!
Hey-oh! Sorry, that was low-hanging fruit, which is fortunate, because that's the only kind you could reach.
So I'm just going to end it now.
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Oh. So while I silently cry, what about you?
I think probably some sort of bear woman.
Yeah.
Like hibernating for half the year sounds about right. But also, you know, kind of like just like chilling out. I think if
oh, no.
I think in a world where I've fucked up badly enough that I've inflicted a curse upon myself, my solution probably would be to run and hide in the woods.
True. Oh, I was going to say something really bad there as well.
What are you going to say? Just say it. I've just called you short as well.
I was going to say, and you really like going in caves.
No, I do. I do. It's true. I'd be so good. I'd be happy as Larry. Yeah. Fair woman.
I'll stick to me monkey man.
Monkey man, bear woman, Porco Rosso. One of the other things I like about this film is the kind of backstory to it. So it was originally made to be like an airline in-flight movie. So right from the start, and there's something I like. If we ever manage to persuade Miyazaki to let us talk to him, the question I would have is like, how intentional was it to make this a film for international audiences? Because right from the start, like right at the beginning when they're doing the description of, you know, they have like the title cards that kind of describe what's happened.
Yeah.
Like tell you that you're in the Adriatic and everything. So those were already written in multiple languages because they knew the film would be shown in flight for an international audience. And I wonder how much of that thinking that this is a film that's going to be for an international audience informed his like storytelling.
Yeah. And
informed the direction of the film. Probably not just Miyazaki. He gets a lot of credit for like, because it's, you know, this was like a comic and stuff first, a manga first. But it makes me curious if that's one of the reasons that actually this is like a film that's so easy to watch and feels so accessible, because it has elements of like Casablanca to it and those sort of wartime films, and as well as having like classic anime markers. And I wonder if one of the reasons it feels very easy to watch as two Westerners is because it was always intended to be watched no matter where you were from. That was my kind of thought about it.
I actually know what Miyazaki would say to that.
Do you?
Yeah, you go.
Do you really?
Sorry, I don't speak English.
Good joke. In Japanese, security?
Why is this bear woman here?
That makes me think of a good film.
Homeless bear woman.
if Miyazaki's next film, I mean, I know he's not supposed to be making another film, but if he makes another film and it's about a homeless bear woman living in the woods, trying to run from her problems, you know where he got the idea from. That'd be such a shit film.
He'd make it good. He'd make it like a background plot somewhere.
Yeah. The real hero's been the monkey man all along. Have we got time for one more sweet?
We'll have to, because we missed one off last time, and it was a suggested one. So
it was, and it wasn't just anyone who suggested it either, was it? It's the person that you're filming with tomorrow.
Paul, no.
Yeah. And a fellow anime nerd at Nerdy Up North.
Yay.
This Mr. Dragon Ball himself, the number 2 Dragon Ball fan.
Yeah. I think he's number 3, actually.
And I'm glad he did, because his reasoning for why he selected this was purely dinosaurs, because it has dinosaurs on it.
Yeah.
On the wrapper.
It's got the names of it as well. I've got a Pteranodon.
I've got well, I did have a Triceratops, that didn't make it. So now I've got a Brachiosaurus.
It's just a little hard-boiled sweet. It's purple.
It's some sort of berry flavour.
It's very nice, isn't it?
Oh, very good.
Did you make a berries and cream reference in 2025?
Yeah, I did.
Berries and cream. Berries and cream.
Berries and cream. Every time I hear the word berry, that plays on a loop in my head.
Oh.
That's my real curse. Never mind bear woman. Good choice, Lee. Thank you very much. You're my favourite anime nerd on Nerdy Up North.
Oh no.
Oh no. I just dissed myself. Yeah, it's good. It's hard to do a podcast with a hard-boiled sweet in your mouth, though. It's what I'm just now discovering. So, now obviously we can't ask our normal question, which is, would you watch past episode 3? Because this doesn't have episodes.
Yeah.
So, my equivalent to the question this time is, does this make you think that you might try some more Studio Ghibli films, having enjoyed this more than you thought you would?
Of course, yeah. And I want to watch them with me 4-year-old son as well. Because that's one of them things. Hopefully, you'll have the attention for it. But it'd be really nice if we could watch these and enjoy them.
Yeah.
Cause I think they're amazing. I think it's better than the old Disney films as well.
I'm inclined to agree. I mean, the songs aren't as good. Because the old Disney films have some bangers. But that does warm my heart, because I think of all the films that, like... There are certain films that, to this day, I still have, like a deep fondness for. Like Spirited Away, for example, always makes me think of my dad, because I watched it with my dad the first time. Same as Cowboy Bebop.
Right.
And there are, like, murder mysteries that I watch with my mum. Whenever I see that particular murder mystery on telly, I'm like, oh, it's an old Poirot episode or something. I'm like, oh, Mum. So it's like this idea
all
of like
murders you did.
Yeah, all the murders you did with your Belgian accent. she doesn't have a Belgian accent. And so the idea of you sitting down with your little one and creating some like heartwarming family time is really lovely. I think it's the highest compliment you could pay to a film.
Yeah, that you want to share it with someone that you love.
Yeah, exactly. And that you're responsible for turning into a human being.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I think it's like a different level of recommendation when you've got that. When that's the deal.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let them watch normal films that I watch.
like Tokyo Gore Police. No way. He can discover that on his own.
Oh, you can find it in HMV in the future, like I did.
There will be no physical shops in the future. It's a sad truth.
No, true.
But he'll find it on a dark part of the internet one day.
Yeah.
That or like something equally as bad. But hopefully he'll have had the heartwarming Porco Rosso to fall back on in those moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
This film was made in 1992, so it's what, 30-odd years old?
Yeah. And here's the thing about the Studio Ghibli hand-drawn anime. You wouldn't realise, you couldn't place the date, right? I don't think. I think you could believe that this was released 5 years ago, and you could believe it was released 33 years ago. Oh god, we're so old.
I'm not sure, because I don't know if I watched the remastered version. I know the remastering Princess Mononoke for the 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
So
that's this year, isn't it?
Yeah. July, I think, or June.
That's the same time as SunnyCon.
Hey.
Where we'll meet. I can't wait to meet in person. It's going to be fascinating. Do you know, because of that joke the other day of like, do you want a giant woman to bring you donuts? I think I might bring some donuts for you too.
I love donuts.
Yeah, me too. I thought I'll bring some donuts as snacks or something. Or buy them there. Probably buy them there.
There's a Tesco there.
We'll go hunting for donuts. When we get bored of stuff.
Or cronuts.
I've never had a cronut.
Should. They're lush.
Should I? Do you know I've seen them on the TikTok. Where the young people hang out and talk about their fancy food trends. And when I see them, I'm like, oh, that looks a bit of me.
Only thing is, though, you have to have a Rennie's chaser.
Oh. Yeah, okay. I have usually got some sort of Rennie's or something in the bag, to be honest. I've reached that age.
A blister pack in my back pocket, normally.
Yeah. Although that's one of the positive things about these Japanese snacks. In smaller portions, so far I have not needed after we've done the snack time to take a Rennie's. So, you know, maybe it's our decadent Western ways.
Actually, thinking about it as well, my blood sugar doesn't raise very much when I eat these as well.
Yeah. It definitely makes me think that my normal diet is pretty bad. This is an improvement. Okay. Fair enough. But you would go and explore more Studio Ghibli. So that sounds like a promise for the future. I'm gonna make you watch all of them eventually. Well, even the ones you've already seen.
Do you want to have a film a month on this?
Oh, I have a film a month idea.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Yeah, let's do that. In terms of our next episode, now obviously when this comes out, you'll be away on holiday.
I'll be in Egypt.
And also we'll hopefully be close to knowing how many push-ups you have to do. So for those of you who don't follow us on Instagram, please go and follow us on Instagram. We're Anime Podcast UK.
I don't.
And Chris has said that I can't remember what date it was, but we had 239 followers when he declared that for every new follower he does that we get between now and the end of April, he's going to do a push-up.
Yeah.
We're now currently on like 150 odd, 152. I think I checked when I last checked. So thank you everyone who's been joining the challenge. And I have seen people commenting. Some of them are purely following just to add to your push-up ratio. So I'm assuming those are your friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you're literally going to be a beast. So hopefully, by the time this comes out, there may also be some like significant updates into the Instagram about how many push-ups you're going to do.
To be fair, I'm not doing them all in a one because I can't.
I think you'll die if you try. I'm just genuinely. I'm
just
genuinely
gonna have to
worried
start
about you
soon, and then just add montages.
Yeah.
Stitch them together.
I 100% think we should have some sort of anime. Maybe you should do it to our
Discord?
do the push-ups to our obviously do them to the Discord, but to our anime theme tune, you should have you doing push-ups, because that's a proper hype song. So I reckon you could do it, like you can do a montage to that. Yeah.
Deal. I'll do it.
Sounds good. Awesome. And then, so by the time you get back, what are we gonna do? Because it'll be when you get back will be then when we do the next filming.
Your choice. You choose.
Okay. In that case, I've been getting personal requests from my lovely other half telling us to do Samurai Champloo, which I think has also been mentioned in the Facebook group. So that would be my choice. Let's do Samurai Champloo next.
Oh, I'm probably going to watch this full series of that.
It's not that long. I think you can.
Nah.
You could probably watch that in a Saturday or something. Yeah. So that's my.
We've been like trying to record ahead to get stuff ready for me going away for 10 days. I haven't had that much time to watch what we've been doing, so I've only been watching the 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And since then, I've started watching a bit more Trigun, a bit more Dorohedoro. I've left Farron well alone.
I'm going as soon as I get a break when you go on holiday. I'm going back to Freerun. I'm going back to. I want to find out where the journey ends.
Well, let us know so I don't have to watch. I think
I'm going to do that annoying thing where I'm like, no, you just have to watch it. Yeah. I'll just find the last manga and read the last page.
Yeah. And they all died.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel a little bit that way about Dorohedoro, to be fair.
Season 2 this year.
Yeah, I will watch it all because I can't. There's like a compulsive part of me that it's like when I get a series of books, I have to have the full series of books so that I can read them all. So that if we're gonna do season 2 on here of Dorohedoro, then of course I'll have to finish watching the first series of Dorohedoro because I won't be able to start watching season 2 unless I know what's happened.
That's fine.
Yeah. But that's fine. We don't have to worry about that for a while because first we're gonna do Samurai Champloo.
Hey.
Yeah, which is another kind of vintagey one. But I'm enjoying diving into our collective past. So we'll catch you then. In the meantime, have a lovely time on holiday, Chris. I'll see you on the other side.
I'll be brown next time you see us.
Yeah, super nice. Say jazzy. Maybe. / pink.
Yeah. Tomato.
So, tune in next week for Sunburnt Chris.
Hey, bye.
Bye.